Hello Taurus, Taurus Rising and Taurus Moon people. This is your weekly astrological and tarot forecast for the week starting October 24th, 2016. Quick reminder for you guys, if you did want to get a private session with me, you do need to go to my website because I actually have you schedule your appointments during checkout. And you'll see that on my website, integrativemysticism.com, and if you would rather have a downloadable video file than an appointment, you can always go there as well, and those are available for order to keep on your laptop or desktop. So, what is going on this week for you in astrology? Well, Taurus, on Tuesday, we've got a weird square going on between Venus in Sagittarius, which is your 8th house of intimacy and shared resources, but I'm kind of feeling more on the intimacy side of things this week. And this square is also to your natal Neptune. Not your natal Neptune, I don't know what your natal Neptune is, there's thousands of you watching this, I don't know. But transiting Neptune, present day Neptune, in your 11th house of friendships and social networking. And when we have this square, it's going to be very, very important to pay attention to where you and a friend may actually end up needing to have a conversation about either both or one of your guys' private lives that you might not feel is ready to come out in the open, but something's going to come out about this. It might be something that you do need to share that you just don't feel like you're ready to share, or maybe it's about them opening up to you. And sometimes you've got to pay attention to this, Taurus, because, believe me, I got way too many Taurus people in my family. I know that sometimes it can feel like if a person's trying to open up to you, it's uncomfortable because you think there's a pressure for you to open up. No, it might be their time. It might be their time to open up. You don't have to worry about having to, just be present for them. It's not an obligation for you to, to divulge things you don't want to, unless you want to. But that's what makes this energy so confusing. I do see a good opportunity for sharing, but this is coming out with secrets that, probably are doing more harm than good being kept. Either secrets your friend has or secrets that you have. On Thursday, we do have Mercury, the planet of action and dynamism and haste and communication and information, forming a really strong conjunction with the Sun in your 7th house of one-on-one commitments and partnerships. And this is definitely one of those aspects that comes around every once in a while and says, hey, are we official? Are we not official? Are we going to become official? Whatever officialhood means to you. Remember, the 7th house talks about all kinds of one-on-one relationships, not just romance. It could be a business partnership, it could be your BFF, it could be a roommate situation, it could be, even travel. It could be even travel, or even getting hired if you're self-employed, or, again, hiring somebody to have more of a contractor relationship with. But we do have something becoming set in stone Thursday and Friday of this week. And this might be a relationship opportunity for those of you who are, you're currently dating, or you're looking to become exclusive, or we're looking to get those talks out in the open. Thursday and Friday of this week, definitely golden for finally putting that subject in the spotlight and top of the priority list for all involved. So, what is going on with your spiritual advice for this week? Well, we do have the card of the Initiate. Remember, the spiritual advice card is always going to be an oracle card, and we got 4 tarot cards following. And with the Initiate card, it's kind of interesting because this one is talking about a need to pay attention to where are we no longer curious? Is there perhaps an area in our life where we become kind of set in our ways? We might even think we're some, experimental free spirit, but truth being, you're not an experimental free spirit if you're still doing the same thing over and over and over again. It just happens to be unconventional repetition. And what is happening with this card is it's talking a lot about a need to pay attention to where, in your life, there's also a trust issue that might need to be brought up and cleared this week. Sometimes with the Initiate card, we're talking about trust issues, whether it's trusting other people with secrets, trusting ourselves with secrets. Maybe we don't trust ourselves, and that's the problem. But this Initiate card is talking about a need to pay attention to issues with trust, but also at the same time finding out where, if we are feeling like life has become a bit repetitious, where are we actually being repetitive, even though it's unconventional? Because, that can happen. For your Earth sector, when it comes to your work and finances, we do have the Queen of Wands inverted. And this actually is a very odd card to get in work because, it does actually bring a mixed message. Okay, and that happens in life, right? Well, the mixed message with the Queen of Wands inverted, let's talk about the good news first. The good news is we have some kind of really, really strong promotion opportunity coming out of nowhere. And even for those of you who are currently interviewing for new jobs may find that an opportunity to take on a higher position, one that you were not looking for or one that was not posted, is going to be there. Because we actually have an opportunity for more money, but the issue with the Queen of Wands reversed is that sometimes these things are all talk. Sometimes these things are very shallow, very superficial, very plastic. And I think that with the Queen of Wands inverted, it's going to be important to be able to vet whether or not this is an authentic, investment of time, because we don't want to go for a promotion that's just sort of lip service either. And sometimes with the Queen of Wands inverted, the chance is 50-50 that it's legit. So it's okay to entertain this idea, but make sure that you don't sign anything or commit to waiting for anything that's not a guarantee. For your communications with air, we do have the Ace of Wands inverted. This might be a very weird week on the social life front, because sometimes with the Ace of Wands inverted, there can be a bit of a turnoff coming your way from a friend or a colleague. Sometimes with the Ace of Wands inverted, it can show up where we're kind of burning out on a person, or maybe they're presenting a part of their personality or a habit of theirs that is turning us off to them. And the Ace of Wands inverted is also saying, be careful where you are burning out on somebody this week. It could just be an issue of crowding, it could just be a mild irritation, maybe your patience with something that didn't bother you before is starting to bother you a lot. But don't make any drastic decisions about cutting people out or do anything crazy just because, we're kind of approaching our limit. We can still come back from that limit. For your challenge this week with fire, we do have the Emperor reversed. The challenge this week, Taurus, is to make sure that we are not being too passive, alright? Because the Emperor card inverted can talk about a need to pay attention to where we're not really working on our own behalf or taking a lot of initiative on our own behalf. Sometimes this card can show up where we're letting way too many people kind of make too many decisions around us or for us, much in the way that we have kind of like a silent king, but his council is doing all the work. And sometimes with the Emperor card inverted, it's really sort of a need to pay attention to where you're not actually, where are you not taking your own responsibility? Where have you let somebody else commandeer authority in your life? Or where have you given it up because, well, let's face it, it's easier and the temptation is always there in life. But with the Emperor card inverted, it is kind of talking about where have you let other people who have been kind of doing that work start to run amok. Because we do give up a lot of, we give up our say when we give up our control. Not to say that that's a bad thing to give up control, but if we're not going to, to do that, then of course people will do what they will. For your emotions with water and your romantic life, we do have the Chariot card inverted. I would be so careful if I were a Taurus playing the field this week, because the Chariot card inverted can indicate some issues when it comes to double booking, or possibly having, an issue where there's, maybe there's just too many people or too many interests going on at a given day. Because the Chariot card inverted can talk about kind of losing control of, of two priorities, losing control of, in a fast-paced situation. And if you are in a situation where you're playing the field, I mean, you're not committed, you're not married, if you're not in a monogamous situation, it's okay. There's no shame in that. But at the same time, don't be careless with it either, because I think that with the Chariot card inverted, there could be some problems that show up where, again, letting other people make the schedule and make the rules and kind of run everything is starting to mean they're competing with each other without your, I guess you could say, help, or without your regulation. For those of you who are currently coupled, the Chariot card inverted can indicate a tug of war, kind of a power struggle over the direction of our relationship this week. This may be a big issue, this may be a tiny, tiny issue. But when we have power struggles over the relationship itself, now we have to ask ourselves, so who's this relationship all about? I can't tell you how many times I've met people where it's kind of like, well, it's supposed to be about both of us, but I'm really making it about my journey. Or, it's supposed to be about both of us, but I want to, have this person kind of be my co-pilot. Really look where the relationship needs to be more 50-50 this week. We don't want to have that tug of war. So that is your forecast, Taurus. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please like, share, and subscribe. You know I appreciate it. And of course, if you'd like to get a session, you can always follow the links below or go to integrativemysticism.com.